Hello and welcome back to the Atlas Readings. It's your host, Fran Eden, coming to you from the Plains of Eternal Carnage. Today's readings are Phantom Assassin, Phantom Lancer, Phantom Phoenix, Phantom Primal Beast, and Phantom Puck. Wait. Without further ado.
With my talents, this should be short work.
Phantom Assassin. The alley smelled of scorched lamp oil and saffron, a tang that lingered in the nostrils. Blood still splattered across the cobblestones, but the merchant's body had been taken away by Revtil's watchman, erased as neatly as a ledger entry. A cold blade pressed against my throat. "Who did this?" a voice demanded, low, urgent, uninclined to small talk. I blinked. I can only speak on what I've gathered. I pointed at the blood, spacing the neat arcs. Double-sided blade, a witness saw a veiled figure, and all occurred within an hour. Blade withdrew. The lean figure stepped from the shadows, his eyes flicked over my face, a subtle nod. Then she can't have gone far. I exhaled. Before I had finished the breath, he was gone. No footfall, no rustle, only the weight of his absence and the sense that whatever calculus had brought him here would trace the pattern onward and more blood would follow. Carrick.
From one, an army.
Phantom Lancer. Azraith watched the gentle rush of a river, his grip on his spear as strong as if he were in battle, but he had no interest in speaking of spearcraft, as he employed in the battle against the dread Magus Vorn. And given that he alone among his people had survived the brutal onslaught, I couldn't blame him. He dismissed my question with a simple, "We had no interest in the wars of others until they brought their wars to us." With that, he focused again on the water, the abundant fish swimming in it. He told me which were edible, which were poisonous, which would catch easy, and which would fight back. I hadn't come for a lesson in ichthyology, but changing the subject proved pointless, and so I decided to enjoy the calm of the day. I nearly nodded off when I saw Azraith tease the water clumsily with his weapon, scaring all the fish off in a terrified school to the opposite bank. I was beginning to think he might not be meant for the simple life of a fisherman, until a copy of himself appeared on the opposite bank, spearing 3 of the ones he'd singled out as the most edible with a single jab. They were deliciously edible, as it turned out, and we feasted that night by the fire. Mossgrave. Phoenix. Oh yeah, Phoenix only really squawks, so there wouldn't be like a quote. I'd been to 3 towns that Phoenix was said to have visited, but so far nothing was rising from any of the ashes that I could talk to. Even though I wasn't seeing any Phoenix from following its footsteps, however, I was getting plenty of ashes. Entire cities' worth, from wooden beams to crumbling granite. As for where all of the people had gone, well, amongst the larger building-sized ash piles were lots of smaller piles of ash in the streets. So I had a guess. It looked like I wasn't getting any interviews. I'd have to get academic. So, I'm 19 floors down in the Violet Archives when I find the dossier the scavenger crew had told me about. Bound papers with a cover etching of Phoenix. It's inside a thick-walled and unliftable box made of smoky diamond-like stone and streaked with scorch marks along all its sides. The dossier begins with a hypothesis about the minimum safe distances and which exotic minerals from which realms might contain the flaming bird. Most of the dossier is incomprehensible, scrawled symbols and numbers next to phrases like combustion rate and incandescence quotient on burned pages. The box had been found miraculously intact in the middle of a glass crater in a field of hardened molten rock. I'm guessing the researchers might have misjudged the minimum safe distance. Nice work on the box, though. Carrick. Primal Beast. Some suggest that Primal Beast is only a baby. Surveying the wreckage around a now former fishing village of Anjuar, it certainly bears the markings of a massive infant's temper tantrum. The devastation, though, hints at a malice a baby couldn't comprehend. Entire buildings bashed to rubble, docks smashed to splinters, entire boats dashed to bits on the shore. No obvious rhyme or reason behind the rampage. Villagers? Gone? I only hope they fled instead of being devoured. Either way, the Anjuar to a growing list of colonies, Primal Beast has wiped off the map. There had been a brief reprieve when the creature had been lured into a trap and bound by the Glepnir, a mystical chain designed to hold godly creatures. But you can't hold a beast this powerful, this raging, for long. Now it stops the land untethered. As I survey the damage, I can't help but think, if Primal Beast is only a baby, gods help us if the parents ever show up. Good kind.
Puck!
Puck! Thing freaks me out. I don't like it. Enormous.
Puck freaks you out?
Yeah, Puck freaks me out. I don't like them. I don't like them very much. Enormous multicolored butterflies flutter among the shimmering leaves of the Feyshade Forest in the southwestern Revtel. I'm transfixed by their flighted dance when the fairy dragon known as Puck appears out of nowhere over my right shoulder. Curious creature, it says, its voice halting and stilted as though mimicking words it only half understands. What sort of being are you? Before I can answer, Puck is flitting in circles around a particularly large vermilion moth. Giggling, I watch for a moment, then it blinks out of view and reappears over my left shoulder. I asked, what sort of being are you? Puck repeats, a hint of an edge to its voice. Fairy dragons are said to live longer than entire worlds. It appears that does not lend them to patience. I'm a wood elf, I stammer. It reaches out one of its 4 three-fingered hands and probes my face. The fingers are air soft and smell of wildflowers and sulfur. It does not feel as though you are made of wood, comes the reply. Its smile doesn't offer any clues as to whether it's joking or accusing me of lying. Puck blinks away again. The butterflies disperse. And with that, the forest is deathly silent. Good kind. And that is actually my 5. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. Thank you all.
Nice work!
Woo! Thank you all for listening. And I hope you have a wonderful night.